Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is GGF bringing you episode 57, 3 away from 60 of Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. Hope you guys are having a smashing bang-on day, or night, as the case may be. Hope you're doing well. We're in Copper Lane. Hope you guys are ready to check out some more of Defiance Bay. We're going to be here a while, son. So get comfy. And I was debating whether to deal with Helig of Thane. He's pretty nasty. Maybe I should just attack him and be done with it. Let's attack him. There we go. Helig of Thane, bad son. Bong bong. Voice from the past, addendum added. And we'll just let everything else play out automatically. Sagani doing her thing by herself there. Alright, we killed Helig. Ooh, he's got some magical stuff. Durin, grab the fine robe. Ooh, Helig's grimoire. And a fine scepter. Finally, a fine scepter. What was the addendum? Kill Helig of Thane. I've slain the undead wizard Helig for good this time. There's no sign of Rowena. Perhaps I can find a clue in his chamber. Yeah, we did this quest all messed up, but I mean, it still is working out in the end. Let's check out that grimoire. We'll give him the fine scepter immediately. I don't know if that's going to be an upgrade. Perfect. Helig's grimoire. We could learn Ray of Fire, no kidding. Creates a scorching ray of flame between the caster and the target, inflicting continual burn damage to the target and anyone caught in the ray. Not exactly useful for his specific build, but Fan of Flames, Jolting Touch, Minilettus Missiles. So we already have plenty of... Oh, what the heck. 200 copper. We'll learn it. I love me a Ray of Fire. So this can actually be sold. There's literally no purpose for it. But if we go to Aloth's grimoire, we have to add that deleterious alacrity of motion. Let's get rid of Console Hot's Draining Touch, put deleterious there. Blackened Sight, Corrosive Siphon, Fetid Crest, Necrotic Lance. Yeah, let's keep that how it is. Chill Fog, Slicken, and keep that pretty much how it is, except for Wizard's Double, I think. Because he can now do the Arcane Veil. We'll go with Console Hot's Parasitic Staff. That should be useful to get some midline banging on enemies done like Durin's does. Fine Robe can sell. Alright, let's take a moment here to enjoy a book. How about Adira Customs? Adir is a country rich with custom, and they are known for their strict adherence to them. Their customs run the gamut from grand celebrations like the Feast of Feasts to mundane superstitions, such as ways to avoid Sfef addiction. This volume will focus primarily on bigger celebrations, as no one knows how to throw an extravagant party quite like an Adiran. The Feast of Feasts. The biggest and most important of all Adiran customs is the Feast of Feasts. This week-long celebration happens the first week of Fonestu, Deep Summer, and is dedicated to honoring the life of the first Fairkening. Each day of the week is devoted to some aspect of the Fairkening's life, and there are very specific dishes to be served at each meal. The Feast of Feasts originally began as a festival celebrating the birth of the Fairkening's first son, and soon became a yearly occurrence during the week of his birthday. Currently, Adiran simply use it as an excuse for a party and pull out all the stops in an effort to outdo the previous year. And lest you wonder, as I did, which Fairkening is honored during the Feast of Feasts, it is always the current Fairkening. Each Fairkening is the first and only Fairkening. Sweet Treat, a special custom that arose at some point during the Feast of Feasts. Sweet Treat started as a way to keep children occupied so the parents could dine in peace. While it is still used for that today, significance has been added to it. Each treat is placed in a container, usually small metal boxes, and hidden somewhere on the property. After everything has been hidden, the children are sent out to find the treasures. It is said now that the hidden treats represent Glonfothan artifacts, and the children are the explorers, bringing the riches back to their new and rightful owners. Carnival of the Mask. When the original colonists for Adir traveled to the new land to found the Deerwood, in the name of the Adir and Fairkening, they encountered the Glonfothan people. The Carnival of the Mask celebrates this meeting. Originally, it was merely a formal reenactment as a play of the tensions between the Glonfothans and Adiran settlers, but it has since evolved into much more than that. Participants choose sides and come dressed in elaborate outfits depicting which group they have decided to align themselves with, Adirans or Glonfothans. Everyone attends a masquerade ball, and this party replaces any semblance of the play that was presented. Winter's End. Winter's End was never anything more than an excuse for a celebration, and it hasn't changed in all the years it's existed in Adir. It takes place during winter dusk and lasts all 3 days. People use the time to reflect on the year, celebrate their lives, and remember the dead, especially those who have passed on in the recent year. Oh, sweet. Very cool. That's all we're going to read for now. So we'll keep it moving and grooving. Took down his revenants. Yeah, he was just a little nasty guy. I think we got more mechanics, so I may be able to spring the lock on this. And everybody leveled up, except maybe Adair. No, Adair leveled up too. There should be a trap over here. Huh. He seems to have disabled the trap. Let's get out of the catacombs, go return to Dalton. And also, meanwhile, let's check out that amulet, can we? We have the amulet. We have a black cat. Where did we get the black cat from? We currently have a worm pet. So we'll take the black cat and stick him in the stash. Well, I guess we don't get to actually see the amulet. That's strange. Look at all these things we have active. Warden's Lodge resting bonus. +2 survival, movement speed. She's got cautious attack and swift aim. You guys making it here okay? You guys resting on your laurels while I'm over here clicking buttons. What's he got? He's also got wrench knee. -2 move speed, that's not good. And I have something as well. I've got a wrench knee, -2 move speed, yikes.
How's the hand?
Turning purple. I'd have to cut it off.
I warned you not to pet him.
If I'm not supposed to pet him, why is he so soft?
Itamak. Dalton.
Good day, stranger.
His tired eyes brighten. Did you find her? Show him the amulet. Yes, but not as you expected. The old man studies the amulet. Rowena used to wear this. Where did you get it? From Helig, who's kept her soul trapped inside it for decades. It's time to set her free. Dalton's eyes widen in horror. No, please. After searching for her for so long. He gazes at the amulet. Just to have her close to me, to visit her in my dreams. That would be enough. Enough for you, but what about her? If you'd keep her trapped in this amulet for the sake of your own comfort, you're no better than the wizard who imprisoned her. Dalton's expression withers. You're right. Please, let me do it. He draws a club with a trembling hand and crushes the amulet. As the gem cracks, you feel essence rush from it. Lost the soul ward amulet. The old man looks at the shattered gemstone. Thank you for showing me reason. Perhaps she'll wait for me in the next life. He looks at his hand, shaking. By the flame, she won't have to wait long. 1134 experience. Please take this. He hands you the club. It's from my old adventuring days. I think it's time I finally let them go. Oh, Dalton. We got a club, though. That's pretty cool. Wow, it's a weird one, too. The Dial Un Debita. Once owned by the Glonfothan barbarian Bodrin Kalda, this club has ended the life of many an opponent. Bodrin was known to rush headlong into every battle, swinging the club over his head, shouting, Dial Un Debita! Vengeance, lust, and merciless. Even in victory, Bodrin was relentless, using the club to dispatch wounded or captive foes where they lay. In time, his battle cry came to be associated with the weapon itself, remembered long after Bodrin's death. 11 to 16 crush damage, plus 5 accuracy, plus 4 accuracy, 15% damage, plus 20% damage against prone, stunned, flanked enemies. Nice, including flanked. That is a special club. And dare I say, I'll put it right there. Stash the Warhammer, I think. It's not a bad setup if we look at the stats there. Right now we have him set up using a gun. Sell these pieces. Okay, very good, very good. Let's see. Shall we head on to the first fires? Let's see, we've got first fires over here. Goose and Fox, we already did that. Let's head to first fires for the first time. The Crucible Knights weren't always soldiers. We used to be blacksmiths. First fires, it's the middle row. Interesting. Whoa, look how beautiful.
I shall be discreet.
Won't be long before we're a formal knighthood. I know there's probably nothing in these early, like, for scouting purposes, there's no secrets, but I like doing it anyway. Can I put Itamax somewhere? I can. Why is he way down there? Get him up there. Nobles. It takes a smooth tongue to solve problems, doesn't it? The legacy. When will it end? Wide Wind's legacy. Here's something to scout, though. The stones of this ancient tower have been blackened by centuries-old fires. Surrounded by a patch of wildflowers, it looks like a memorial. Come up the steps. Wow, this is crazy. We actually have business here. If you guys aren't sure.
Politics, infighting, greed, and a shrine to Margaret as well. Her clergy belongs there.
Huh. But we have a political matter to discuss about the property Cad Nua. House Domino still thinks it's the law in this city. Huh. Ooh, we've got some peeps. 12 Charms, Maggie Tiller, and Codlear Cohen. Death Godlike. You see a man preaching, his voice washing over a small crowd of eager acolytes. He speaks of tolerance and of self-reliance, of pain and of beauty. The crowd nods, agreement clear on their transparent faces, and the preacher frowns. He continues, speaking of the importance of anger, the strength of hatred and frustration. His frown deepens as they nod, enraptured. He calls forth one of their number, an older man. It is safe, the preacher says. No harm will come to him. Smiling, the man walks forward into the preacher's embrace. A shudder rocks his frame as he pushes away. a thin stiletto through his chest. He falls to the ground and does not breathe long. The crowd groans, confused. The preacher's face is dark with rage. "Do not trust blindly," he says. "Do not take the world at its face. Terrible things lie beneath, and you must be prepared before you see the truth." The crowd thins, the body removed, the preacher silent. A few remain to listen, and to them he smiles. Creep. 12 charms Maggie Tiller. You see a small mobile stall covered with various goods and sundries. This woman is standing next to it, engaged in a lively discussion with the man who's holding one of the items she is selling. She has a light, friendly countenance and is trying to explain to the man how to control the item. He moves his hands around the top of it and mutters what sounds to be gibberish. After several attempts, he growls and thrusts the item back at her and starts to turn away. She stops him with a hand on her shoulder and holds the item up in front of his face. She traces a finger over the top of it, slowly and distinctly repeating the same phrase over and over. The object suddenly lights up, shining as brightly as a torch. The man's face brightens as well, and he looks at her expectantly. She runs 2 fingers down the side of the object, and the light extinguishes. She hands it back to him and takes her place behind, guiding his hands as she whispers the words to say in his ear. Many failed attempts later, the man is able to light the object on every try. Elated, he hands it back to her. She makes her way behind the cart. While he searches for the appropriate coin, she places the item on a shelf under the backside of the cart and replaces it with another from a small box next to it. Money and goods are exchanged, and she watches the man leave, satisfied with his purchase. Then she scans the crowd, looking for the next mark. 12 charms Maggie Tiller.
They'll never know I'm here.
Naughty gal. "We demand to see the Duke." "He's busy. Settle down or you'll feel the back of my blade." Refugees? "I'm down on my last few coppers. What am I going to do?" "Takes a smooth tongue to solve problems, doesn't it?" "Oh. Solmar the Shackler, a slaver from Red Saris, has arrived at your keep." "Seeking your counsel on some business matters. We've got to return there ASAP." "Oh, he leaves in 8 days. Still, I don't want to spend too much time not going back." "Dunstan's as gifted an armor as you'll find in the entire city." "Won't be long for a formal knighthood." 8 days he leaves. Should I do this quest first? About if we actually own Cadnua? "Animancy isn't the problem, it's the solution to all our ills." "These days it's rare to find folks who'll do much for strangers." Okay, here we go. Urist Nakazul. You see a dwarf, matted beard slick with rain and dirt. His teeth are gritted in the wind, cloak drawn close. He walks in formation with 21 others, all bearing the same insignia, a mercenary company. They are all soaked with mud and filth, faces broken, shoulders fallen and soft. They do not speak as they move, gathered in an uneven circle. Their guide gestures an officious-looking Orlin, directing them through the sodden streets towards a rundown building. The ceiling is partially caved in, and something about the too-perfect door causes the party to stop. The Orlin barks at them, agitated. The mercenaries form a tight circle. Something is amiss. Then hooves, gunfire. They have been betrayed. The fight is fast and efficient. Mercenary blood stains the cobblestone streets as the soldiers round up those remaining. A horse rears out of nowhere, kicking the dwarf in the side of the head. He falls instantly, blood seeping from his ear. The soldiers leave the mess, uncaring, their orders completed. Night falls and bodies stiffen. Rain has all but washed the street clean as the dwarf and I groaning. He staggers to his feet, hand on his head. He leaves his cloak on the ground, insignia greeting the sky, and slowly walks away. That was really cool. I mean, not really cool like a move, like, you know, but well written. Then we have Ruben Torres. You see a young boy sneak up the ramp of a giant black-sailed ship. Smile so wide it almost cracks his wind-whipped cheeks. The ship is almost empty. Crew out drinking and celebrating their latest haul. The boy easily evades the drunken guards playing cards on the upper decks, trading stories of conquest the boy doesn't yet understand, and runs down the stairs to the decks below. The ship is silent below as he explores, just a gentle lap of the ocean against the hull, and the muffled sound of excited feet running between boxes, stopping at each to peek inside. Another pair of footsteps and the boy jumps, hiding behind a collection of sacks. The footsteps disappear eventually, but the boy is asleep, and the ship roars into life as their drunken crew make a breakneck escape with an accidental stowaway. Well, that was pretty awesome too. Very beautifully written. I think I'm going to wrap this up a little early, guys. I know we only made half an episode here, but
Laying low.
another ship lost. A Valian merchant vessel dashed against the merciless rocks. No survivors. Still, Andra's beacon lies dormant, its doors barred to all. The waters claim many souls this season. Two more peeps. Another death god-like Meganad. You see this man, much younger, lying on a large stone slab situated on a dais in the center of a circular room. At 7 points around the dais, older men in black robes prostrate themselves over ornate runes, worked into the stone of the floor, chanting in a low drone. An eighth man enters, carrying an ebony box inlaid with gold runes that match the runes on the floor. He stands at the head of the slab, lowers his head, and slowly opens the box. He turns to each prostrate man in turn, ripping the open box in their direction as he does. Tipping the open box in their direction as he does. He then sets the box at the head of the slab, facing away from the young man lying there. He reaches into the box, removing a small cylinder of onyx, and then moves to the end of the slab, stopping near the young man's feet. He holds the onyx up, says a word, and then presses it against the young man's right foot. When it touches his flesh, the onyx softens and becomes a black leech. Oh gosh. Attaching itself to the young man's soul. The man repeats these steps until there are leeches on both hands and feet, the middle of his chest, his neck, and his forehead. The older man then takes his place at the head of the slab, raising his hands and joining the chanting, watching the young man as his blood drains. Oh, that's horrific. Death godlike. And Lyranor. You see a dimly lit street lined with buildings. Most of them are dark and quiet, but one at the edge of the canal is bright and noisy, defying the night. This Almua stands in the dark, huddled against the cold of the shadows, keeping away from everything. He stares at the door of the lit building, intently studying it. There's a sign hanging on the side of the building. It is barely legible in the dark, but appears to read Goose and Fox. Movement from inside the building perks the Almua up. He pulls his cloak closer around his face, and his breath speeds up, catching slightly. His excitement is palpable. The main door to the establishment opens, releasing a cacophony of laughter and shouting. Light spills out onto the street, illuminating a solitary figure in the doorway. The Almua stands, bringing his right hand up in front of his face, palm down, fingers extended. The figure exits Goose and Fox and stumbles off into the darkness, swaying slightly as it walks unsteadily down the street. The Almua follows the figure, muttering a few words under his breath and gently wiggling his hand. The tips of his fingers start glowing lightly, steam rising from them against the cold air. He increases his pace, intent on catching the figure, disappearing into the night. He shakes his hand once more, and the tips of his fingers burst into flame, the flickering light revealing a manic glee in his eyes. He closes on the figure, nearly hyperventilating with happiness, and whispers a name, Carone. The figure jumps slightly and begins to turn as the Almua extends his hand, leveling his fingers directly at the figure. Some pretty wicked peeps in this one, but
I'm on the trail.
I want to thank you guys for joining me. We'll come back with a full episode next time. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. And if you want to become a huge help to my channel, guys, then you can become a member. Details in the description of this video, along with the right links to my Patreon and stuff. Feel free to check that out. Shout out to my members. Much love to y'all. Love you guys. And hope to see everybody next time. It's not right. Regular folk like us should be allowed to attend the hearings. You do know there's not enough space in there for everybody, right? All I'm saying is, where's our representative? Who's speaking for the common folk? Right? But, very cool. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, do come back. We're going to keep it moving next time, exploring more of First Fires. We'll get back to our keep at Cadnua and deal with the Red Saren. Super awesome. Until next time, guys, be well, live well, stay well. Much love, peace, and joy. Don't go anywhere. We at least have to make it to the White March, right? Alright, see you guys next time. Ciao for now.